It says share, but I don't really want to share that. So what do I do?
I'm live now.
Just
Hello. How are you guys? Best damn lunch and learn ever. We are getting live on our Instagram, so you guys don't want to miss this episode. This is going to be amazing. We're going to drop some knowledge up in here today. Yeah. Let's see. Start it. Eve, you want to start it?
Oh, can you press it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did it go? Just kidding.
okay. There we are.
Hey, Doreen. How are you? Good to see you. Oh, guys, today
We're live at the Darby
Dating
residence.
tips. Little impromptu dating tip session with
Yeah?
the fam. Okay.
All right, we are live. So make sure you drop any questions you want to hear for us with the best damn lunch and learn ever today. And it's all Dating 101.
Dating 101, fam. Oh, yes.
I mean, it's going to get serious up in this piece today.
It's gonna get
I mean-
serious. We're at the Darby residence.
Thank
so
you for
Ashley
hosting.
has slippers on. I have no shoes on.
I mean, I have shoes, but it's fine.
We call this the Mad Pad.
It
guys.
doesn't,
We're at the
exactly.
Mad Pad.
This is so fun. Thank you so much for having us today. So much fun. So what we're going to talk about, obviously a lot of people say, okay, well, like, what is the best dating advice you could give? But I think, it really starts with the reflection in the mirror, right? Getting you right centered before you start swiping right. That's one of my favorite
Yes.
things.
I like that one.
That is
Right?
good.
Yeah, get the mirror right before you start swiping right.
I like that.
But it comes back to core values and core non-negotiables. So we really want to hit home on this really hard because I think that's where a lot of relationships fail. We're also going to talk about dating in the age of social media because it's aggressive out there.
I couldn't do it. That's for sure.
Oh my God.
And thank God you don't have to.
I know, it's out there. It's just, so we have that. We have profile, like we said, profile do's and don'ts on the dating apps because they are very different depending on which app you are actually on, which is key. And then, y'all heard of micro cheating? Yeah.
Does that mean when you cheat just a little bit?
I mean, this is
Like micro?
this is like minuscule.
You just put the
mini.
tip in.
I mean,
Oh, that's
but I
terrible.
will say,
That's
like,
terrible. Sorry,
I
that's
think
not
it's like there's social. Oh, that's funny. But like there's social media. Like I feel like sometimes people are sort of micro cheating, stalking.
Well, you just turned on Alexa, girl. She heard you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
snap.
all right, Alexa.
FBI's listening to us.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, they're going to learn some knowledge today.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So no, but so I think so. Let's dive into core values, core non-negotiables. I think the one thing that happens a lot is people actually don't know what their core values are or where to start with their core values. Oh my God, I love it. And so let's go down. Like, I mean, I just love this one quote. Like, if you don't know your core values, you don't know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, how are you supposed to introduce yourself to others?
That's deep.
Right? So it's like, all right, like we got to really look at, okay. So let's go down some of your thoughts on core values.
Well, I think we had this discussion just a little bit ago, that when people think of core values, I think that they think of the superficial things. They think of what they will look for in a partner, whether it be financial or the way that they look, as opposed to really getting to the meat of it, which is like who you are, what are your real values, how do you treat other people, religion. Religion is one of those things that I think people don't talk about nearly enough.
And it's so important, and
Thank
sometimes it's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
It can be a deal breaker, for sure.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, like people look at, like you say, oh, what are some of your core values? Like, looking at, okay, well, you have to go down the list, and this will be available soon on datingandheels.com. We have an option. Your core values worksheet will be available.
And
So,
how often do you have to re-examine yourself?
I think
Because
you
we should always be on a journey, right?
and growing and growth and learning and expanding. But I think a lot of the times, especially, I mean, at 40, right? People, you have to be a little bit more, especially if you have kids, if you're divorced, you now be a little bit more locked in on like, okay, these are what my non-negotiables, my core values are based on what I really want. And I think that certain age groups, they get into this predicament where, especially women, older women, they're in a scarcity mindset. So, and they think, oh God, this person checks out all my boxes, but but there's such a wide pool, and I think this goes back to dating in the age of social media, and we'll talk about that.
Well, do you think that sometimes, even if they don't check the box, women, we tend to just make that box a little bit bigger so that, they can potentially check the box?
I mean,
or hoping they will.
Right.
Maybe there's a chance they may change
and
their
then
mind.
what happens is you do that and you say, there was a reason why I had that box there.
That's true.
Like, I should have known.
Yeah.
Every time.
It's every time, girl. So true. So my 5 non-negotiables in a partner, when Michael and I got together, we hashed these out because we didn't do premarital counseling. We did this worksheet we found online, which was actually very thorough.
Love
had
it.
so much information on it. And we concluded 5 things. So religion, neither of us are very religious. We're spiritual, but we're not religious people. So that was one of the things.
Which I like. I want that.
Yeah, you just want someone who understands that you're not the sole being in the universe. Like humans can be very selfish that way.
Yes.
So religion was one. Kids, we talked about kids, which
This is an ongoing thing.
ongoing. But that was my non-negotiable in the beginning. Family is really important. Having a connection to family. So even though I'm going through some growing pains with my mom and everything, I still talk to my mom every day. I'm so close to my grandmother and to my uncle. So still maintaining those close relationships. Friends is really important. Obviously, I got my 2 girls here.
Yeah.
Having close relationships with our friends, and also just like travel. We love to explore. We constantly want to learn new things.
Yes.
I will say Michael is one of the most ever-evolving people that I've ever met. He's never
that's awesome.
stagnant. Yeah.
I think that's what I actually love about their relationship. You know, we all watch a show. Every marriage has ups and downs. But what I love about their relationship is that they go on journeys together, like real adventures, you know?
Yeah, and not even just physical. Like, Michael's even been a part of my yoga journey with me.
Yes.
He does yoga with me.
Yeah.
He's learning about some of the components of spirituality. It's like, I couldn't have asked for a better partner in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's definitely important that you have, like, you know, a lot of, you guys have a lot of common ground, but they're also very social. So sometimes you may have, like, the homebody and the person who likes to be out all the time. But I think you guys are pretty balanced in that way, too.
Yeah. Michael's a little more outgoing than me. I can't deny that. He is the social one in the relationship.
Yeah.
That's true. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, but that makes sense though. Think about it, because if you're with a partner that, if you're not asking these questions out of the gate, then you get locked in, there's more time invested, and you get to that place like, oh, I'm already emotionally invested in this person. Maybe I can overlook certain things, and then he comes back years or months, you're very upset, you're getting angry with them, you feel resentful that they didn't go with how. So you have to really look at it. Like, it sucks, like, especially when you like somebody and they do check off a lot about it, but then there's like 2 main non-negotiables or core values,
Huge ones.
and then you're like, dang it, and you're back into swiping. Just kidding.
But to be fair, guys, isn't there a little bit of like a surprise element to the swipe? Isn't it a little bit fun, a little bit?
I mean, I'm just hoping we don't walk into chloroform cloths. I mean, that's just like on a Tuesday.
But I mean, you just have to make sure you check them out. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I do. Like,
Yeah.
Those dating apps can attach to social media, and you have like 4, 5, 10, 20 mutual friends. You only get the first name, you put the name in, the last name comes up.
Yeah.
Right? And you see the same photo a lot of times, you check them out.
Yeah.
So you do some cross-checking when it comes to social
absolutely.
media. Okay.
Oh yeah, some
Okay.
recon up in
Yeah.
that piece.
Okay.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I do. No, because think about it. I mean, if you can, before you're going out there, you're investing, especially if you know your core non-negotiables and you can do your research. If they're not connected to anything, and you're in like DMV is a small town,
And they have one photo.
and they have one photo, it's probably a catfish, right?
A catfish
I mean,
or a murderer.
Yeah, and that's exactly chloroform cloths.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think that it's true though. If you can ask around, but also when you're asking around, just keep an open, your mind open, because certain people may have different views, said individuals, but so just say like, okay, are they nice? Like, you want to ask these major, are they human? Do they have a soul? Right?
Hello.
Do they have a soul?
I mean, it's true though. I mean, it's funny, but I mean, at the same time, actions speak louder than
But
words.
some people don't have souls.
They really don't.
No.
They're like skating through life. It's so interesting.
It's sad.
It's
Yeah.
sad. I know someone like that.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
tidbit that I've always been told and has been so true time and time again is you see how the person that you're on a date with treats the service staff.
Amen.
That
Where's
is
my
so
mic
true.
drop?
girl, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because that server can't really do anything for them, and they are serving them. And if they're not going to be polite to them, I mean, the likelihood they're going to be polite to you.
Probably
Slim
not a
in.
lot.
That's very interesting because I know someone initials SJ. SJ, like you go out.
I'm like racking my brain. I'm like, wait.
And then SJ is like, oh, ma'am, may I have extra butter on this? Or ma'am, like constantly over it. And you know what? Very demanding. In his private, personal life too. So that's interesting you say that.
Wow, guys.
You know, so you're like, can you leave them alone?
Yeah.
You may need to delve into that further, guys. Like
That was interesting.
indirect signs that you get, because that's not something that would be blatant. You'd have to kind of infer that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's
Great
interesting.
point. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's interesting. Yeah, because it goes back. I'm like, now I'm like, whoa, okay, I will pay attention. So
Yeah,
you guys
it's
write that
interesting,
down.
yeah.
Right, write that down. But I think also other signs to watch out for is like how they treat their family, like how they treat their parents. Do they have a relationship with their parents? In a sense of like how if you're dating a guy, right? How does he treat the mother? You know, what is the relationship? Because I think that is key. If the parents don't even talk to the child,
Right.
Yeah, that's what we call a warning.
Yeah, baby. That's the bad news there.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, for someone to like turn their back on their child, it says something.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. But then on the flip side, you don't want them to be too involved with their moms. You know.
It is like it's
It's
yeah,
a balance.
balance.
It's a balance, you know.
Balance and boundaries.
Exactly, and that's another thing, boundaries. Oh, let's talk about that for a second, because even there's a lot of boundaries in relationships. But I think the most important piece is that making sure that you have open communication with what boundaries you want to set, and not be scared to really talk about it, because I think that is a huge thing, that we are all not creating safe boundaries in our personal and professional lives. You know, how many people at work will say, oh, can you do this? Sure, because you're in this yes mentality, wanting to please, like if you're the pleasers out there, like yes, and then you have no, I'm right there with you. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I can do 30,000 things in a day, right? And then
Yeah, and maybe that's one of the core values too, because how you communicate, I think, is something that you have seen growing up. So if you come from a very open home, your parents were very communicative, you probably will be a communicative adult. So, you know, if that's important to you, that's an intrinsic part of who you are as a person, then bam, you want that in another person as well.
So speaking of boundaries, last week I'm in the car with Jen, and then my son calls.
oh, this is really funny, you guys. I about lost it.
He's like, where are you? It's like, I'm a couple blocks away. Well, you need to share your location with me.
I was like,
Share
what?
my location? What? Yes, you need to share your location with me. And and then Jen's like, boundaries. Yeah, boundaries, right? So he says, well, you guys are old. You don't understand.
Oh,
This is what we do. Everyone shares location. Well, that's not what I do.
I'm not
I
doing
will be
it.
there in 2 minutes. We're 2 blocks away.
And that's respect too, respecting your time,
Yes.
and that you are an adult.
Yeah, no,
Yes. So
Yes,
how do
that's
you guys
respect.
feel about sharing your location with, forget your kids, but like your partners? How many of you guys share your locations with your partners?
That's a great
Interesting.
point. I can't wait to see the comments on that.
Oh yeah, let me.
Yeah,
sorry,
right,
I
guys,
can't quite
yeah, let's
read
see
them.
what-
What do you think of these boundaries? Okay, fam.
What they say?
My life says I'm not sharing them with anyone. Sunflower says nope. Thumb down. Y'all are really opinionated about
Yeah,
this.
because that's like, it's
It's
one
true.
thing with your kid, but your partner.
Yeah.
I mean, my kid,
I mean, I'm
You
like,
can
why
call
do you
and
want to
text.
like? Are you trying to trick me? Like, if I say I'm going to be somewhere, or what if I want to surprise you with like something, and then you're like, where were you? And then you feel bad about it, right?
It's really trust. Like
It's trust.
You
It's
trust
trust.
your partner. If you trust your partner, then you don't need them to share their location. The only time I'll drop a pin is if we're trying to meet up. That's the only time that I expect you to actually share your location with me. Yeah.
I don't even know how to drop the pin. So
Yeah,
I'm
I was
like,
like,
you
oh.
do what? Show me that later.
Yeah,
when
let's go
when
through
we're
a
done here.
tutorial. Drop them. I was like, oh.
I was like, is
ladies that know about drop a pin. That's so funny. We'll go over that later.
I mean, we're techie in other ways. We'll just say
Yes,
that.
yes. But you know, Micah showed me Snapchat. If you're, are you on Snapchat?
And Micah's my son that wanted me to share the location.
Yes, so Micah told me that Snapchat actually shares your location unless you manually disable it.
Stop
And
it.
I don't know how to use Snapchat either. Thank God.
Do you have it on your phone?
Why not? I didn't even do it on this phone.
Okay, good thing.
Okay.
Girl, you're safe.
Okay, well, I may have to
No,
check my
I
phone.
might have. I don't know. I'll have to check later.
You have to manually go in and disable that anyone can see exactly where you are.
Whoa.
Snapchat be playing games. That's Big Brother if I ever knew.
And Micah.
Whoa. And Micah. Yeah. And I saw him, I'm like, oh, where's your GPS?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
Oh, okay. All right. So you guys learned some tips about dropping pins today.
Drop it like it's hot.
But yeah. Okay. So we're gonna get into profile dating do's and don'ts. If I can
This is a
contain
good
myself.
one. This is a good one.
Melissa said she knows how to drop it like it's hot.
Oh, there you go. I bet she does. She's
you
good.
can show us that too.
Yes. Hey.
Send us
hey.
a video.
Yeah. There you go. Oh my God. Thank you. Profile do's and don'ts. Okay, so here's the deal. Different dating apps call for different things. What you're posting via pictures, your texts, like it depends on, this is where it goes back to really knowing what you want. Do you want a relationship? You want to hook up? You want to get married? You want to have kids? Like if you're trying to get married and have kids, I mean, Tinder, eek. I don't think that's the place for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's more. I mean, I think it's kind of changing, but I don't know. Like, if you're wanting like I've heard more stories. Bumble, obviously, is one of the best.
But wait a minute. But everyone who's on Bumble is pretty much on Tinder.
I know it's cross-reference, but I'm saying if they're the research that I've read and like talked to people,
right.
They say the more if you're going to do relationships, it's more Bumble. For Tinder, it's more hookup. So I just want to get your thoughts on. And then you guys drop in the comments if you think that's true or not.
Well, that's what I was always told. But then, last year when I was like, I'll never do online dating, and I did, I went on Bumble, and then I ran out of guys.
That's because, babe, you have a little bit high standards. Like
I was like,
she
where are the
has
guys?
a picture in mind, and if you don't fit that, she swipe. Which
Yes.
way do you swipe? Swipe this way, right?
Yeah,
Swipe
left, that way.
Left.
Left her.
She was
That
swiping,
way.
and then she screenshotted it too, and she sent it to us. She said, "I'm out of dates."
Stop swiping aggressively.
She was really getting it.
Yeah,
y'all.
it was.
So then I was like,
Oh,
okay,
gosh.
let me go. Your phone died?
No, I just
thank
want to
God.
see what everyone thinks.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Come on in.
Yeah.
Ashley's
come on
phone always
closer.
dies, by
It
the way.
stays dying. I can't help
Glad
it.
your phone died.
I can't help
Okay.
it.
Oh, a great value.
Oh,
Tinder's
Vinny.
amazing.
See, Vinny says Tinder is amazing. He smashed 30 girls. That's the problem.
That's exactly my point.
Sunflower says Tinder is for hookup. Bumble women have more control.
Thank you.
Giovanni says it's just if you feel a spark toward that person.
Okay,
That's
okay.
valid too.
Yeah, I like that.
I agree with that.
I've
Yeah.
gone on like 3 Tinder dates, and I have like a friend now. I mean, like,
Yeah. Tinder, yeah. I mean,
Well, then I went on, and then I looked at all the other options, like, what was it, coffee and a bagel?
oh yeah, coffee meets bagel.
Yeah, but
and then-
they don't have enough. The pool is too not enough subscribers.
Yeah.
So
Well, they're growing. They're new.
yeah,
I mean, they're new.
And
to
then
that.
when you're on Tinder, you can clearly see who wants a relationship and who wants hookup because you can read the words.
Yeah, and you can.
tell which ones want threesomes and stuff. Like they write it down.
What?
Yes,
Yeah.
this stuff.
Oh, I'm married,
Here,
but my
come
wife and
closer.
I are looking for someone. And
So
all that,
then
Yes.
I wonder, does that mean that certain apps are more appropriate for certain age groups? Do you think?
I think so. That's just my okay. They said that
That's
too.
it. They said yes.
They said yes.
That was so
The ghost
weird.
in the other
So
room
weird.
said yes.
There's nothing in that room.
And that's
after
so
the
weird
phone.
because that's where I always hang
Oh
out when
my
I come
God,
here and
that's so
over
weird.
there.
Oh, we got a lot
Okay,
of energy
sorry.
up in this house today.
Yes.
But this is fun, she. With Ashley Darby. That's my quote. I love that.
She does say "Find your chi" with Ashley Darby. I love it. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah. So, but I think the other thing is, let's talk about profile pictures. So here's the tips, right? So depending on, like, if studies have shown you should be having a clear, number one, clear picture, smiling, especially in your first photo, right? Like, because you don't want to, like, someone's all mad and angry or, you know, you don't want to be swiping right on that. Like, oh, this is going to be fun.
I agree. I think that
Yeah.
photo is like the like, what do you call it? Like your banner, your business card.
Yeah.
You know, represents you best.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree. Yeah, and I think, and then obviously let the pictures tell a story about you. Really, I mean, people can learn a lot from pictures. Let it tell the story. I don't necessarily agree putting your kids' faces on any dating apps whatsoever. That is a negative ghostwriter. Okay, we don't do it. Cover their face with a star or something.
Art, something.
Yeah, that is completely
You know,
inappropriate.
like on Tinder and Grindr with your kids, like they don't need to be on Tinder and Grindr.
Absolutely,
They're children.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice in that. Yeah, so that's not okay. No. So,
Or your wives or girlfriends or ex-girlfriends or ex-wives.
or your wives or husbands.
Yeah, don't have their picture on there either.
Really, having a woman or person of the opposite sex is so confusing.
Yeah, is that
Yes,
your
'cause
sister?
Is that your sister, your mother,
Yes.
your neighbor, your jump
Yeah.
off? I don't know who that is.
Your jump off.
Fam, just either be alone or with your dog.
Out
That's
doing
it.
stuff,
Yes.
like being, if you're adventurous, put adventurous pictures of it. You like to hike, if you like to be at the beach, boating, like have it tell a story. And it doesn't have to be a dissertation when you talk about description. Just be honest, like be honest there, what you like, you know. I've seen some things like this one guy, I can't even make this up.
Oh my gosh, I'm nervous.
He's like, you have to be this and you have to look like this and then this is you and you cannot have certain BMI. I was like, BMI? I'm like, what? No.
Did he really say BMI?
Yes, he did. And he was not a personal trainer. Like, you got a lot of nerve talking about BMI, brother.
Well, the best one is and no drama, drama free.
Oh, okay, let's talk. Here, come closer because I can't get you.
And you know, they'd be the most dramatic
Thank you.
ones.
Yes. Girls, that's the funny thing. No drama, like blah, 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 blah. Listen, everybody's going to have some level of drama. It's just like, I always say, like, you know, whose soul's going to mess with, like, your devils would mesh well with their devils or your, you know, whatever. Because it's like everyone's going to come, especially when you have kids or as you get older, you're going to have things that come to the table. And so to cross
time
somebody
it's family.
out. It's family, right.
True.
Yeah.
That's so true.
And so, you know, just having that kind of mindset of like just shutting that automatic, like, okay, they have kids or they want, or whatever the case may be. Like, just get to know these people as a human level. Obviously, especially when you're dating, you can meet a ton of people and just connect, especially if you move to the area. People have, like at our Dating in Heels event at Oz Restaurant, which is a great date night.
It actually really is a great date.
It is.
Yes.
Is there? I've been on a couple dates there. Actually, I think I take all my dates there.
I think so too.
Yeah.
We're a great date night spot.
Yeah,
No, it's
and there's like
awesome.
some cozy nooks. I'll tell you about them later.
Yeah, I'll tell you about- what are you going to tell us? What's going on in Oz?
No, it's like it has like romantic lighting. It's like, you know, it's
cozy.
it has like
And the
ambiance.
booths are kind of, you know, it has
Yeah.
the enclosed so you feel like it's just you.
Yeah.
And that person.
Yeah.
But like at our dating event that we had at Oz, our first one, there was people that met business. I mean, there wasn't a love connection, but they met.
Oh, there are a lot of business.
There was a lot of
connections.
business connections there as well. So don't ever go into like so nervous, like when you're going into a first date. Just look at it like I'm just trying to meet a human on the same level. Like just get to know that person as an individual. Like we have a chance of like putting this whole story, like fairy tale. They, like I said, check off all my boxes. But then like it's the first date, right? Like you're just getting to know them. Like don't write a story.
So, you know, Ashley has this restaurant, right? So I know you see a lot of like first dates and
Yeah, we do.
yeah, because as people meet at restaurants, right?
Yeah. And you can tell by body language. You can always sense when a person is like, you can sense when they're gauging each other. It's really interesting the way that their eye contact is, the way that the touch may be more on or more off. Like it's very apparent when they're just getting to meet each other. Usually, obviously that's not in every case, but usually we can tell.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any good stories like anyone proposed in Oz?
Yes, we had a proposal.
Oh, you did what?
We did. Well, was it? I'm not telling the truth. It was someone. This couple went to Oz for their first date, and then they got engaged. So then they came back, and they were like, "We had our first date here, so it's so symbolic, so special to us."
That is awesome.
nice.
It
I
was
love
like we
that.
were a part of their love story. It was pretty cool.
So nice.
I love that.
Their Calma burgers are good too.
Everything is good there. You just need to go to there. All of it is good.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
No,
you.
it's good.
We have a good time.
Okay, so what are profile do's and don'ts? Like I said, can we please stop with the bathroom selfies for a second?
I'm so sick of them.
Please, so sick of it. I don't need to know that you use Colgate because I can see it in the reflection when you take said picture.
Yeah, because not everyone is like in a clean bathroom. That's the problem.
Well, actually,
right?
that could be a good tip.
Yes.
Right?
Now mirrors dirty. and
Mirrors
stuff.
dirty,
Wet floor.
towels everywhere. Like, we don't need to know this much about you yet.
It's aggressive.
Well then, guys, so I'm hearing these things, right? And I feel like there's almost it's a contradiction because, like, so one of the drawbacks I'm hearing of online dating is that person doesn't 100% portray themselves. But then it's like,
We don't want to see the real. Like, trick us a little bit.
Okay.
Just stage it a little bit. Like, dirty towel, just move it.
okay, so you're saying
Make it more
don't-
appetizing.
Well, like, you are your brand right now in the dating world, right? So, like, think about that. If you're going to put your brand, you want to have this high, have a high-end brand, or going on high-end, trying to date high-end people, you don't post that kind of stuff ever.
Okay,
No.
so you still need to sort of create a certain story. Like, so even though, I see what you mean. Because just like on a first date, when you meet organically, you meet someone face to face, you don't see all of that stuff. Like, you don't see the dirty towels, you don't see the toothpaste.
No.
Okay,
No.
that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah, and I mean, because it's just a little bit odd, and then it's like a little bit too much, or they'll start texting, and then I hear the stories, they'll just start sending like inappropriate pictures out of the gate. I haven't
gotten any of those.
I haven't either.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've gotten some of them on Instagram from y'all. Y'all know who you are. You know, gosh darn well I'm married. And so those pictures that I'm getting. Oh,
Okay,
my
show us
gosh.
after. Show us after.
I'm like, fam, you know I'm married. Like, what is this?
We want to see them.
I'll be sure to share.
No.
It's quite funny.
It's quite funny. Oh my
it's
god,
quite
I
funny.
love it.
Yeah.
But that goes back to, so like I said, just be you. Don't be a representative when you're out there. Get to know that person on one-on-one. What other things should we say about profile tips?
Also, if you, this is not really dating profile, this is social media profile.
Yeah, and then we'll get together.
If there is like a controversial type of situation going on in the world, don't just put a picture up. Like, maybe like just like have some verbiage about your opinion, because sometimes you may post something and it may appear that you are in favor of it. You
Want
know?
to give an example?
Let's see. Give an example. Oh, okay. Let's do this. He's a football player, Colin
Kaepernick.
Kaepernick. Yes. So some people didn't like the kneeling. Some people did. Right. But I know someone who posted a picture of someone heiling Hitler with no explanation. So if you see, this was their profile picture. So if you see this, are you looking at this and saying this person is pro-Hitler?
Yeah,
or against Hitler?
Right. You can't leave that stuff open to interpretation. You need to did you ever figure out why that person had Heil Hitler on his?
Well, they didn't put a description of like why or how but they said they weren't pro-Hitler, but they didn't.
It just was like,
Don't put that as your profile photo.
No hot
don't.
button things.
Yeah, don't get into politics on Facebook or any of that kind of stuff. Like, just stay away from it. Like, especially
It will hurt your business.
Yeah, it's hurt your brand.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what. I mean, listen, you can have conversations offline, but the whole world doesn't need to know. If it's like, it's just crazy.
Well,
I mean, if you're seeing it, like if it's negative, you're saying you're being one way with somebody, and then you see, I don't know.
If that's the type of person that you want to attract, if you want to attract someone who mimics your views, then fine. Just be prepared to know that what you put out, you're going to get back.
Yeah.
That's
Agreed.
it.
Exactly.
Don't expect anything different.
And that's like one of the fundamentals, right? You put out what you get back, right?
Exactly. You put negative stuff out there, negative stuff, you get it back.
Right,
Positive,
exactly.
say positive, right?
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, really, like we talk a lot about it, especially for branding. So think about like dating advisory or like building businesses, just like in the boardroom. It's the same thing in dating. If you are going in there and you're putting inappropriate things on any sort of social media, and wouldn't be taken seriously. Like I would look at this stuff. If you don't think people go through people's social media and see
they do,
and you could miss out on business and a personal relationship.
Yes, agreed. And and if you're in the business of like hot topic discussions, I mean, yeah, people judge you on your opinions that you voice.
Sure. Just be prepared for that.
Yeah.
One thing I've learned on Housewives, you just got to be prepared.
Especially when the people around you don't believe in your beliefs. So it affects all types of relationships, right?
And don't try to change them. If someone believes one way and the other person, don't try to change that person. I mean, that's
futile.
Yeah, it's futile.
And you cannot change views, political views, religious, that's not your human.
No.
Right? Like, that's just not, it's just not.
And I think every so often, every couple months, because as we said, you're always on a journey, you should be evolving, just go through your social media and step out of yourself and look at what you have, look at your pictures, look at things you've posted, and you can delete some, it's fine. It doesn't have to stay there.
You almost do like an audit.
An audit.
Yeah, social media audit. I think that's key because, dating in the age of social media is tricky because there's so much. I mean, go back to the days where, way back we didn't have cell phones. I mean, that you had to come home.
How did we survive? I still don't understand.
I don't know how we did.
Everyone was a little happier though. I mean,
were they? I don't think so.
Really?
Well, I know parents were because I'd be like, oh, I didn't have a quarter. I couldn't call you.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, we
see
know
that
where
longer.
You are. If it's Micah, they're checking where you are. Okay, that's what they're doing.
Micah said, the roles are reversed now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, but I think it's true because think about it. You have to have that one-on-one personal communication with each other, meeting in person. You didn't have all the social media, so now you have. It's just exponentially changed everything, right? So much access to everything, and you have this mindset of like, oh, well, if I don't like him or her, there's somebody better. There's somebody better. Or these guys will be like, yeah, I'm dating like 10 girls.
My dad always said, "There's whoever you're with, there's always someone better."
I mean, that's not life.
That's what he said.
No, it is. God.
I think that there's someone better if you go looking because that means you're not happy where you are. So of course the grass is going to be greener on the other side. If you're happy where you are, then it's not perceived as better because that is so individual and that's an individual perception.
Yeah.
Super subjective.
Yeah.
But your dad, Eve's dad gave some bomb-ass dating points that I think we're still using to this day.
Oh, hold on. Let's hear some of them. Can we just a couple?
So my dad would say, if you don't have nice hair, wear a wig. Men like hair.
Okay.
Write that down.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there are a lot of women, this was he's been deceased for 10 years. This is years ago, before women wore all these wigs. I mean, they used to wear wigs in the 60s and 70s, and the wigs are back, so you can wear a wig and it's not weird.
Yeah. And I think as long as you just maintain yourself, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
That's all. Just maintenance.
I think that's the other thing that's a really hot topic too, because think about it, there is you have to be on your toes, especially with social media, and there are so many options out there. If you're not putting in the effort in your relationship, whether you're dating, you're engaged, or you're married, you should always be dating. Right? I mean, but Eve says that all the time. Always be dating. Doesn't matter if you're married or not.
If your husband or wife is cheating, then you're not having enough date nights. Because if you were, there wouldn't be any time for that because you'd be together. I think it's important to do a date night. I know you and Michael, you guys have your restaurant, but I also know you go to other restaurants.
Michael and I constantly
date
date.
nights. Yeah.
We went to the Caps game on Saturday. We had such a fun date night. It's and these are things that we have some common interests, But as our relationship has evolved, we've formulated more common interests. So hockey is the one that I've grown to love because he likes it. So that gives us another option for date
I
night.
saw your Insta stories.
they're
I mean,
awesome.
I don't know who would not enjoy that game.
Oh, I mean, hello.
I mean, they had lights and like smoke. I was like, what
People
is
hanging
that?
from the rafters.
I think everybody would like that hockey
It
game.
was so electric in that arena. But that's it. I mean, but it's not always like that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the Stanley Cup. But
Yeah.
And Michael and I, to be fair, when we first started dating, I didn't like hockey, and he would take me and he would get upset because here these tickets are really expensive and I wasn't appreciating them. And then I think because I do love him, because I care about him, I started to learn more about it. I started to put forth the effort. Just like I said with yoga, he's starting to do yoga with me. So when you care about somebody, you will try to find common interests and make time for each other.
My ex used to watch Housewives with me.
There you go.
That's
It's a good show. It's a great show.
Yeah.
I
like it.
I love it.
I do too.
Hello. Yeah, hearts on that one.
like
Y'all better set your DVR every
Sorry.
Sunday at 8.
Yes. We did a recap of last night's episode. If you want to see Instagram Live, check that out. Interesting stuff. I'm sorry, ladies.
No, I love it. Okay, so let's talk about you with your yoga.
I
know.
know. Find your chi with me.
Yeah, find your chi with Ashley Darby. I know.
So Jen gave me this great idea to do Find Your Chi. I've decided to do Zen Gem because I'm a Gemini. So Zen Gemini, but also, so it has two meanings. It refers to the duality that we all have, because the Gemini zodiac sign, people say we're two-faced. We're really not. We just have our public face and we have our private face, which everybody does. So everybody has a little bit of Gemini inside of them.
To the men.
So it's going to be a health and wellness clothing line, and I have some cool videos coming out soon. Zen Gem. Good stuff. My first shipment of apparel is coming in today. I'm so excited.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's not here yet. I know.
Dang it.
Later
She did a
today.
preview.
I know.
Love
It's
it.
good stuff. Yes.
And then you have an event at Oz on June 27th.
I do. We did our first event in May. We had our first yoga night. We want to do yoga once a month because we are also going to highlight healthy eating options. Oz is a very vegan and vegetarian friendly restaurant, as well as for meat eaters. You know, I think we go across the whole spectrum.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's a
that's
good
true.
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
But one night a week, we're going to, one night a month, we're going to specifically focus on vegan options. So I'll lead a 90-minute, we can do a 60-minute vinyasa flow class. And then afterward, we'll have a nutritionist on site who will give some information about vegetarianism and veganism, because there are a lot of misconceptions. People feel like in order to eat healthy, you should omit eating, which is really
Omit eating.
well, like or
That's
let's
not gonna happen
but, like,
here.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm like, I'm hungry.
I'm talking about lunch after this.
I know, I'm reading. Where are we going? But I think some people think that because veganism is French fries, like French fries, that's vegan, potato chips are vegan, but that's not really healthy. So it's really about what the substance is, you know. So that's all going to be addressed at our event on June 27th, and then I have a call with the manager at MGM, and we're going to do a health and wellness expo at MGM later this summer.
Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for
It's going to be
that.
awesome.
Can't wait.
Oh,
That's so
gonna be awesome.
exciting.
Yeah.
I'm
And
excited to learn it.
I warn you, because Micah did the class at Oz last time, and whatever Ashley's doing, I mean, he was out.
He was asleep.
At peace,
He was done.
and he was
out.
asleep.
Call it a night.
What I
up, Micah.
appreciated the fact that Micah came in with an open mind.
Yeah, no, he loved it.
Yeah, so
And he's really into yoga. He loved it.
yeah, I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Thank you. But not everyone comes to yoga, especially if it's your first time. Don't be intimidated by that, because
This will be Jen and my first time.
yeah, don't be intimidated by thinking that you have to fall into a space. It really is it's a journey. No matter where you start in your yoga journey, you just have to start somewhere.
Is that a normal thing for people just to go to sleep like that?
Yeah, so at the end of yoga, we do Shavasana, which is it's corpse pose translation. And it's a time when you fully release. Your body has worked doing these yoga poses. Your breathing is different. So it's a time when you can just fall into your space, just lose your mind a little bit. We have some essential oils that we do. Use that Tibetan singing bowl.
Yes.
All good stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, because I actually am so excited for her to teach me, because I'm a big athlete. So back in the day, played big tennis, played Division I tennis, and so for us, I'm like yoga. I'm like sweating like on the court somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, like but it was such a mind shift when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait and she's gonna teach me. I mean, so you know, like because I'm like, oh, boxing, because I'm a big boxer, and then you know, tennis obviously, and then but you know, just working out in general. But then I'm like, oh, but I need to stretch a little bit, like my back, you know, from getting back into playing. I hadn't played in a while. Playing tennis, definitely, I'm excited for it.
And so to comment on that, when you do sports is a form of meditation. You're concentrating on your technique.
That's a really good point.
You're concentrating on your game. So it's a form of meditation. The way that yoga differs is that it's a form of meditation that's inside versus thinking of your outward journey, thinking of what you have to do for this tennis match, or thinking about who you need to, you know, not hit in boxing. It's really about channeling your breath.
That's actually a really good way to get out aggression on the bag. You know.
That's true. That's true.
I didn't do that power walking. Like that's
yeah.
Up those hills.
Those hills.
Cross training, guys. Yeah, you don't have to just do yoga. Like, you know, walking, boxing, tennis.
Well, I just bought a whole bunch of yoga clothes, so
yeah,
I'm ready.
I'm yoga ready. I mean, I'm getting ready.
I'm ready.
I love it. All right, so what can you tell us about the Housewives? Any dish you can give us?
Yeah.
Did you guys see last night's episode yet?
No, we will though.
Okay, I know you had your brunch yesterday.
Yeah.
We're at a really interesting point because Monique divulged some information to me about Sherman, Giselle's now ex-boyfriend. I didn't know at that time that Giselle and Sherman had broken up, but at the time when Monique told me that Sherman was basically caught in the park after dark, receiving some fellatio from a woman while he was married.
So Giselle and Sherman broke up before.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay.
Because what airs in the show last night is that Giselle is talking to Robin and Juan about how she and Sherman are finished. And it's right after Monique tells me that Sherman apparently got caught legally doing something. Like, they got busted.
Oh my God.
Do we know why Giselle and Sherman, she didn't give a reason yet?
Well, Giselle had told me that there were some communication issues before with Sherman, that they had been communicative before, but then they just kind of hit a roadblock. And I think that happens in every relationship. They just maybe didn't know how to get beyond that hurdle.
Well, I mean, like, I know it's when you're a public figure and it makes it a little more difficult to find love. So I think we're all like hoping what happened for them, right?
Well, it goes back to the love languages. You know, that's always a good one to do. If you guys have not done it, there's a quick quiz, the 5 love languages. It's great, not only in your personal life, but also in business.
Yes.
Because maybe their communication style was different, you know, how she wanted to be communicated in him.
Very valid point, actually.
Right? So,
and I know she's a Virgo. I don't know Sherman's sign, but Virgos like to communicate, just like Geminis. You know, their planet is Mercury. That's what they do. They communicate.
Right.
So,
maybe, I mean, words of affirmation is like my number one.
Yeah.
Like, right? You know? Yeah. And that's just quality time, and it goes down. So it's more about creating these memories, and obviously, like for me, I'm always on the go. Because I want to create that. I don't want to, like, it's not FOMO, but kind of. Right? I want to have be in connection if I'm not, you know, and also talking on the phone. I think that's another thing for dating.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone, people, and call your love interest.
Sure.
Yes.
You will set yourself apart. Let's try it.
Yeah, try it.
Yeah. Get back to us. Let us know if that works.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone and call. That's like the best way. Texting is nice, but so much gets like lost, right?
In translation, perfect example, like there was a text and I was like, I did like a funny face or something, I don't even remember what it was. And I didn't hear back and I'm like, okay, well fine, I'm not talking to this person, I guess, anymore because he never wrote back. But then I was like, oh, I mean, should I be reaching out? Like, because it's just kind of, like, everything can be misconstrued, so just remember that. Just pick up the phone and call them. I can guarantee you can put yourself above the competition.
Oh, I have to go back to what you were saying though. But why was Monique looking for this information on Sherman?
I'm not
What was her, like,
I'm not
endgame?
sure what transpired. I guess Monique and Sherman's ex-wife had become friends, and she had shared. Sherman's ex-wife had shared this information with her, I gather. So
Is it true?
I I don't know. And Juan makes a really good point. Juan said to Giselle, he's like, you don't know what he's been through in his life. This was all in his past. We all have a past.
We all have a past.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Write that down.
Yeah, we all have a past.
Yeah. So it was all very. It was a very weird day for me. Michael and I had just been bowling with Monique and Chris, had so much fun.
That's awesome.
And then when that news dropped, I was like, what do I do? Because everyone, I do like to stir the pot, obviously, because why not? Like, we all have things. We all have things to say. But when that happened, I was like, this was something that happened a long time ago. Should I bring it up again?
Right.
I was very torn about that because I don't want her to be hurt.
And then also it's like, it's weird because, this area is a very small area. So, that Monique became friends with Sherman's ex. But I was out with Ashley one night and my ex's ex-wife was there. And she wanted to come over and say hi, but I wasn't interested.
Awkward.
Awkward.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, eek. Eek. Hashtag that.
Wasn't interested.
Not interested.
It's so interesting because, did you see Jada Pinkett's new thing where she has a sit down with Will Smith's ex-wife who he has his first son with? Yeah.
Cherie.
And now these two women can sit down and they talk about how when they first got together, Jada was like, I don't want her around me. They had these like contentious fights and stuff.
That's interesting.
And then as their relationship evolved, they were like, why do we dislike each other? Because when things are still kind of hot, naturally you don't necessarily want to see your partner's ex-person.
Right.
Okay, so I will say if, like, I had a boyfriend or a husband and then I got dumped or whatever, right? But then it was like I got dumped for Jada Pinkett.
Right.
I
Hello.
all right.
Then you're bitter. I was like, sorry.
Touche. That's actually really, really poignant. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right. And there's that.
Yes, indeed.
You win.
You win. Yeah. You just don't come back for that.
Yeah.
You're right.
Exactly.
That's gotta suck. Like, oh, okay. Well, I digress. This will be an offline conversation.
But this is also very important in relationships because you both should be evolving. Like, a lot of times people come together and one is like the superstar and the other one gets comfortable. Well, that superstar is out there and getting bigger and bigger and brighter and brighter. And you've got to do something too, right?
Yeah.
You just can't sit on your laurels and be like, life is good.
Yeah.
But that's applicable in all situations. Like if you are dating someone who's really into physical fitness and then you decide that you're all of a sudden just going to stop working
Right, you
out.
better get out there too and get physical.
Yeah.
They're going to be up in that gym.
In that gym, walking down the street, got muscles.
That's obviously
Right.
non-negotiable for that person. If that person wants to be healthy, they probably want a partner who mimics that.
Yes.
So
It is what it is.
it goes back to those non-negotiables.
Non-negotiables,
It really
core
does.
values. Everybody
It really does.
start
It
your
really does.
worksheet.
And that's what I'm saying. Every time you go against it, you're like,
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and then you say, oh, how did I end up here? Well, I know how you ended up here because you didn't do it.
Yeah.
You didn't stand by it. You may have written them down, but then you say, oh, well, they check off all these, but there's just these two, like I said
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
And those are major.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you want to have kids, you want to get married, you want a relationship. And that's the other thing is that don't try to push someone into something that they don't want to get into. Right? Like if someone says like, I don't want to be in a relationship, don't try to change that person's mindset. Right? Because then you're just going to be upset. It's like, why are they not committing to me? Well, because they told you they did not want said relationship or to get married or to have kids or to move or to, you can't really push someone into your own ideals because everyone is individual.
yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True. Very nice.
And that's our for us for today. That's all my questions.
Oh, you have all those are your questions?
Yeah.
Alexa didn't catch that.
Oh, you didn't catch that, Alexa? Hey, you got a question for me, Alexa?
She's like,
Are they listening? That freaks me out.
I know, they
gosh.
are.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, thank you guys for having me. Thank you for coming today. These ladies hosted a beautiful brunch for me and for Dr. Autumn yesterday. We had our Sip of Socialite Power Brunch, which was on the first episode of the season for Real Housewives. We all come together and we network, but yesterday was a little bit different because there was an emotional aspect of our brunch yesterday that I didn't even expect to happen.
Yeah.
and it was so inspiring because I think we're all about like, oh, what are our skills? How can we help each other? But the emotional element was accentuated yesterday.
I agree, and I think that I like when everyone gets a turn and tells their story.
Absolutely.
At the brunch, because it we all can relate, and then we think about things within ourselves, and you actually walk out of that brunch thinking about you grow.
Yeah,
right.
It's a growing experience.
It was for me too.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, can we take a few questions? Because
Okay, let's do it.
I'm so sorry, guys. So I have to be far away because I can't see. Okay. So, okay. All right. Some really great questions. Thank you for listening, Callie. So great.
Hi, Callie.
Hi, Callie.
I don't like when you call older people the names that you call them, Braylee. Well, I only say it when I'm provoked. Okay.
She's a Gemini.
I'm a Gemini.
She's a wordsmith.
Okay. So let's see what questions you guys have.
Let's see.
What? I think someone said. Oh, thank you, Avisha, my darling.
Hi, Avisha.
Yes, we love Avisha. Avisha is really making it happen. She's so inspirational. She talk about women's empowerment. She's all about it.
Oh, and she's
So
a Virgo
amazing.
too.
She's a Virgo.
Love those Virgos.
Yes, me too. Someone said that. So Melissa says that she's crushing on a Capricorn, but he's terrible at communicating. Do you have any tidbits for her?
Oh, because they're dark. Capricorns are dark. He's probably has does he suffer from depression? Because they might. A lot of Capricorns like blackout curtains. He'll probably just withdraw from time to time.
There you go, Melissa.
You just got to heat him up.
Heat him up.
Heat him up.
What are you, Melissa? What's your sign?
That's really interesting. So Avisha says you need to be dating 5 years into the marriage and you still put in the same effort. That's so true, girl. Like, you just never
guys
give
love
up.
the life, and you guys date. You guys have date nights, so you guys have a beautiful relationship.
It's just effort. Like, wash your hair.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know? I mean, take a shower.
Well, she and her husband have great hair.
They both really do.
Right.
Okay, Eve, everyone's loving your yellow dress.
Oh, thank you.
And really loving the advice that you're giving.
Oh, and the Aries with the Capricorn, you're probably being a little pushy. Just give him time.
Oh, so Mr. Adams said he heard the Rev Run say, dress like you want to be addressed.
There you go.
Ooh, I like that.
that one.
That
That's
is
a
a
good
one, too.
I
tweetable
love
moment.
He's a Scorpio.
Is he
Rev
really?
Run. Uh-huh.
Oh, there you go. Are we being told how to act? I'm not sure. Thank you for joining, but I'm not sure if you really get it.
No, I'm not telling you.
Yeah, stay away from religion and politics. So true.
So true.
I saw a guy's profile, and he had. Okay, that's really disgusting, Benny. Why are you? Do I need to block you, Benny?
Benny, we're about to get fired from our lives here.
He's adding some comedy to this, but Benny, that's not what we.
Yeah, probably.
Yes. Okay, guys, I think I may have missed. Oh, speed dating. What are your thoughts on speed dating?
I've never done speed dating, but I want to try it.
Sunflower says she's going to an event, and she's looking forward to it. Do you guys have any tips for her?
Actually, you know what? Yeah. What I would say is think about what you want in life.
Thank you.
And then talk about that. Like, if you want marriage, be honest.
Be honest. Yeah.
I want marriage, so I
want marriage. I want kids, or I just want to, I
Yeah.
just want to date someone, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right on that one.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense.
Because sometimes men they're ready to get married, and it's true. They don't.
True.
You don't have to convince them. Men want marriage and children too.
Yeah. Austin asked, "What's the best food to cook for a woman?"
Oh.
Well,
Just for Jen, it's crab legs.
That's true.
And
Belgian cheese.
just go and get
Surf
pounds and pounds of crab legs.
And I'll be good.
That's true.
Lemons.
Oh, and tons of lemons.
Tons of lemons.
Just plant a lemon tree in the backyard.
Yeah, I'm good.
Lemon orchard.
Call it a day.
Slice them up.
But remember that you have to be conscious of the person's eating habits. Remember how you said that your friend wanted to go on a date with someone and he told her he was a vegan and she suggested a steak restaurant?
Yes. It's suggested 3 steak restaurants.
Yeah, you have to be sensitive to what your partner needs. If you know that your girl is a pescatarian, babe, don't cook a steak on the grill, okay?
Yeah,
have some oysters or some little aphrodisiac.
Yeah, because that guy was a great guy.
Yeah, well, he just wasn't for her. Is he single still?
Yep.
Okay. At our next Dating in Heels event, you can put him on.
And he's very good looking.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guys.
I love it. This is good.
Yeah, this is so informative.
We should host a speed dating event. Yeah, let's do one in Oz.
I know.
Let's
So
do it.
I've talked to Ashley about it. I think we have to go to one first because I don't
That's
really
fine.
know what goes on there. Just
Yeah.
So
Speed
I'm
dating
new
events.
to being single.
We would just say go to the speed dating. Just you can tell a lot about someone's energy. Like we do a lot of, and like you can tell a lot about a person from how they look you in the eye. Like you can see if they make eye contact. So just make eye contact when you go on your speed dating
And smile.
and smile.
Yeah. Oh, and be
happy.
open.
Be open. That's
Be
the other thing.
open.
Don't be scared. Everyone is there for the same reason.
Yes.
It's not like
Yeah.
there is nothing to be afraid of. Just maybe I'll meet a new friend, or you never know who they could introduce you to, and goes on from there and there and there and there.
And only have a 2-drink limit. Do not have more than 2 drinks.
Get a little sloppy.
Yeah.
That is
crazy.
not good. Yeah. We actually have speed dating events at Oz, and I love them. I think the energy is so, because it's like nervous energy, but everyone's nervous with excitement,
Yeah.
and there's so much potential. It's like everyone comes in with so much optimism about finding a partner. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have great events at Oz for that too.
Yeah, Melissa, I'd like to be first on that list.
Well, guys, make sure that you check out at Dating in Heels on Instagram, www.datingheels.com for all of these great tidbits. Eve and Jen are incredibly knowledgeable about dating. They cover the bases into astrology, even like crisis management. Eve gives me such great advice about how to handle situations in life, and her experience comes from, or her advice comes from her experience in always a very pure place. So check it out.
Dating in Heels, we'll be live. The website will be live on the 13th, so June 13th.
Oh, exciting.
Yes, very excited.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.